you wish to ask a question, please raise your hand within the queue of the participants log on the Zoom right there, and then I will call on you. So with that, we'll get started. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, it's just great to see everybody. It seems like it's been a while since we've had a chance to talk hoops in this format. So, well, it's been a long time since we've talked in this format, if never. But just appreciate you guys being on, and we're excited for the season. We really are. It's been a long time since we've been on that court. I think everybody's journey has been a little bit different over the last 6 or 7 months. Ours was, we didn't get our girls back on campus until August, and tried to find some kind of normalcy within a very abnormal time. But it's been great to be back on the court with these girls. Our off season was really, really productive. I think we all know we had a pretty tough season last year. But in the big picture, as I said before, I'm really thankful for it. I think our diamonds are formed in the fires. We had a lot of adversity. We met it face on. And this offseason, it really gave us an opportunity through Zoom calls, a lot of Zoom calls, to just really dive into some of the opportunities and challenges that, were in front of us. And so great dialogue, saw a lot of growth in our team, a lot of maturity from our team, a lot of I feel like we grew together as a team, even though we were on Zoom. And then when they get on campus, just a brand new appreciation for being back on the court. I think when, sometimes we can all take things for granted. And when you have a chance to get back on that court and put on that jersey and be surrounded by your teammates and family members, it's an awfully special feeling. So it's been really good. We've got a lot of talent this year. It's just a matter of putting it all together. And just taking it one day at a time. I think there's so much out there that's still so fluid, and so you can't get too far ahead of yourself. You just got to really focus on the present and one day at a time and getting better. But our freshmen have been great. We've got a couple international kids that took a minute to get them here, but we've got our entire team here. Our freshmen have been tremendous. Our returning kids have done a tremendous job as well. And our kids that had to sit out for a year and then are back with us now, Shug Dixon, LaDeja Williams, and Shannon have been tremendous as well. So got a lot of pieces. Now we just got to work on putting them all together.
Okay, and with that, we'll open it up for questions. Go ahead and get your hands raised in the queue. We'll get going with those. It looks like the first question today is going to be from Colin O'Brien from the Jefferson City News Tribune. Go ahead, Colin.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for doing this, and hope you're well. You kind of alluded to it at the end of your opening statement there, but with such a young core, with a group of returners who had to sit last year, and then also with the international students, how did you go about managing the challenges of not necessarily having a traditional offseason and trying to keep that momentum that you guys had at the end of last year moving into this year?
Well, again, I think, the journey looked different for everyone. I think for us to just be able to take a deep breath and kind of regroup a little bit was important. And at the same time, not allowing the fact that we couldn't be here face to face to take away from the opportunity that we had to grow over the course of the summer months and off season. And our girls were really great about it. We had Zoom calls every week. We read a book together. We talked about that throughout the course of the summer months, one chapter at a time, and really dove into that. And so, in a really odd way, we get caught in doing things the same way over and over because we've always done them that way. But the fact of the matter is, I think sometimes a little shakeup can be good. And so this offseason has looked quite a bit different than we've ever had. But I also saw a team come back really refreshed and really grateful for the opportunity to lace them up. Our girls did a great job. I think for the most part, finding ways to get into the gym when they were back home with their high school coaches, AAU coaches, their, wherever they could. Their conditioning was pretty darn good considering they weren't here with our strength and conditioning coach. And so, at the end of the day, we all have that same goal in mind. And so for them to come in the kind of shape that they did, I was really proud of them. But even more importantly, the growth that I saw in our team and the way that we've come together through Zoom calls and through reading a book together, I thought was really important.
Next up is Eric Blum from the Columbia Daily Tribune. Go ahead, Eric.
Hi, Robin. First off, just what would you say is the biggest difference you've seen in the games from Asia Blackwell and Haley Frank? And then just have their leadership qualities also grown? It seemed like they were learning on the fly last year. So now they had a chance to actually take a deep breath. Have you seen a difference in that?
A huge difference in our entire team. And again, that's why as hard as it was last year, there's so many positive things that I think that came out of it. And so, this summer it caused all of us to kind of look ourselves in the mirror and take some ownership and embrace the things that we needed to improve on and understand what our strengths are and how we could grow and be better because of what we went through. And those two were on we also had optional leadership Zoom calls every week for anybody that wanted to join and just kind of grow in their leadership skills. And those two, both were on those calls consistently. I don't think either one of them missed one Zoom call. And so just to want to dive in deeper and understand, how to be better leaders for our team moving forward was huge that they bought into that. And I think anytime you get 1 year under your belt, that helps a ton. So they came in as freshmen and really was forced to the fire immediately, as we both know. And that's a lot coming at you at this level, especially in a year that's, you lose a player like Sophie and then all of a sudden you feel that pressure that, you need to continue to carry that torch and move our program forward. And it was just a tough year for a lot of reasons. But yes, tremendous growth, tremendous leadership. I think, time helps with maturity, understanding what it takes on a day-to-day basis, individually and collectively. It's been really good and fun to see them grow. I'm really proud of them.
Next up is Bennett Durango from the Post-Dispatch. Go ahead, Bennett.
Sorry about that. Coach, I see you're wearing the Black Lives Matter shirt, and I know Asia's been pretty outspoken about that stuff. I was curious just what the team has sort of done from a social justice standpoint this offseason, and if anyone approached you in particular about trying to, use the voice and sort of speak up and that sort of thing.
It's really unfortunate where we're at. But at the same time, I would say we've really embraced some incredible dialogue as a team. And we've talked a lot about wanting to continue to be a part of the movement, not the moment. And so, actions speak louder than words. I think the ability to sit still and listen, to educate yourself, to educate each other, to have just real, vulnerable conversations in a group that you trust and can learn from has been incredibly powerful. And, I think for our team, they've really embraced that. I think stories have been shared. The conversations have been real. The transparency, the vulnerability has been just really on point. And for us, we feel like, it starts in our locker room in the people that we surround ourselves by every day, and it just continues to spread. And so just to be a voice and not shy away from tough conversations is so important, and control what you can control. And go out and be a light that shines and make a difference. But you've got to be willing to have conversations. You've got to be willing to listen and listen to understand, not listen to respond, but listen to really understand. And so it's been some pretty emotional and powerful conversations that's happened in that locker room and with our team through Zoom.
Next up is Andrew Kaufman from KMIZ. Go ahead, Andrew.
Coach, with Election Day coming up on Tuesday, you guys, I assume, are off. I believe the NCAA has come out and done that. Do you have any plans with the team to go out and vote together or do anything together on that day?
No, we've talked a lot about making sure we're registered to vote. And I think collectively, everyone in our program is registered to vote. And so that's great, using our voice. Things kind of got switched up for us a little bit in regards to our practices and what those have looked like over the last week or so. which has also impacted our academics a little bit. But no, we have not talked yet about if we'll go collectively as a group or we'll go individually. But I do know that everybody within our immediate program is registered to vote, and I'm proud of them for that.
Next up is Soichi Terada, Kansas City Star. Go ahead, Soichi.
Hey, Robin, kind of a COVID-related question, but with your international students, did they have to do like anything special just so they weren't stuck overseas or anything, or did you kind of have that conversation with them?
Well, first of all, I love your sweatshirt. Good stuff right there.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did have a couple of situations with a couple of them. Our point guard out of Spain, Mama, we didn't even know if we'd get her over here. They were on lockdown, and it was impossible to make visa appointments, and it wasn't looking real good. And randomly, they opened up. She drove up to Madrid, was able to get her appointment, got her visa, and everything's so fluid. And so we got her here, and the kid that we thought would be a little bit easier, Sarah Rose, she ended up having to go through lockdown. It was a little bit easier for Shannon because she already had her visa, but Sarah Rose did not. And so to get to the embassy, and she had a couple meetings that were canceled, and they were on complete shutdown. And so again, we didn't know the timing of that, but Sarah Rose didn't get here until sometime mid-September. Yeah, it was well after school started. She was enrolled in some online classes, and so wasn't real sure what that was going to look like either. So, and then once they got here, obviously the quarantine for a few days, and then that got lifted. So it's been an interesting time for sure, but so excited to have them all here.
Next up is Walter Fields. Go ahead, Walter.
Hi, Coach. So, as this is like the first time we've really seen anything like this, how has like COVID and the protocols affected like the recruiting process for you guys moving forward?
It's been interesting. I think, for us, especially, over the months from March to September or August, when we could actually be back in the office, and still now, but just the amount of time that you spend on Zoom calls. I don't even know if I knew Zoom existed or if it even existed before March. I know we had our FaceTimes, but those just feel different than the Zooms. And, the opportunity to still be able to be face-to-face with your recruits, not in person, but, just to have face-to-face dialogue and be able to put presentations together on your program. It just really felt like conversations went much deeper, much quicker with recruits. And I think that's a really good thing. But recruiting's gone exceptionally well for us. Really excited about what's transpired for our program over the last 6-7 months. The kids that have made a commitment, some, a lot of them we can't talk about yet. Some will be able to talk sooner than later. But it's been really good for us. It's worked out really well. For us, though, we had seen many of these kids, and I think that's the thing with coaching basketball. And all sports are different, but with basketball, being out in the summers, you see a lot of kids at young ages. And so we were very familiar with the majority of our kids, that have made those commitments to us.
Eric Blum from the Tribune. Go ahead, Eric.
Robin, can you shine any light on what it's like going to be like schedule-wise for you guys this year, or is it a big waiting game for you too?
I wish I could. I wish I knew. I feel like that's probably the one topic that I am so tired of talking about is scheduling. And so it's no problem you brought it up, but it just seems like it's changing, weekly, if not maybe daily. It's still a little bit of a waiting game. We finally feel like we've got a pretty good rough draft. A couple of the games, a handful of our games we had to move around, obviously, first of all, with the November 25th date. But then in addition to that, what different conferences were doing in regards to maybe playing more games than they typically do in their conference. And then, with the testing protocol and what that was going to look like, and if teams could commit to following those guidelines. And so it's been a work in progress. I don't think it's over yet. It sounds like there's some MTEs out there that are getting canceled or moved. And so I don't think we're out of the woods yet with our scheduling, but I think we're much closer than we had been over the last maybe month or so.
It looks like our final question today is going to come from Andrew Kaufman from KMIZ. Go ahead, Andrew.
Coach, I'm curious, what book did you read with the team?
Chop Wood, Carry Water, Joshua Medcalf. Phenomenal
Football
book.
team read that last year, right?
What's that?
I think the football team read that last year, right?
I'm not sure.
What was the I guess why'd you pick that book? I don't know anything about it, but I'm just curious.
Yeah. So Joshua Medcalf, he actually came and spoke to our team years ago before he kind of became just a rock star, and he's got several books published right now. But just the day-to-day consistency, the grind, just the discipline, the accountability, how you handle adversity, owning what you need to own. Just so many good messages in there that are so much bigger than sport, that really parallel and align with life lessons. And, I'm, as most of you guys know, I'm big about teaching life lessons. This is so much bigger than basketball, and it's about how to prepare our players to be successful in life. And I just felt like there were so many parallels in that book that would be really good for our team. And we had some incredible discussion about it. So that was fun to do. We've done that a lot. We've every year we try and read a book with our team, and usually over Christmas break. But I think there's a lot of value that comes out of things like that.
Colin got his hand up just last second. This will be the last one.
Sorry, Coach. I just wanted to ask quickly before you get out of here. Not necessarily COVID related, but health wise, injury wise, how's the team doing as you prepare? I guess the last month before the season starts.
Yeah, so it's really been an interesting time for us. So we spent the first 14 days once we could start official practice in quarantine. Talk about being a bummer. We all got contact traced, and that was another curveball we weren't really expecting, but it happens. I think our kids have been really, really cautious, but this is a crazy disease that we're dealing with, and no matter how careful you are, you never know what's going to pop up. And so, a little bit of adversity there, but again, I thought we met it head on. We had an opportunity to do some Zooms with some PowerPoints and talking through offense and some film session from our individual workouts. And so again, I thought we made the most of that time. But other than that quarantine time, we've had a couple kids in and out of quarantine when we were doing our individuals. But as of as of last Saturday, we were all back on the court. And so that was great to be back together yet again. I'm a little disappointed you guys didn't want to talk X's and O's at all and talk about speed at the point guard position and what our team's going to look like from that standpoint. But we got plenty of time to do that. We're just getting back on the court. But I love this team. I think they really care a lot about each other. I think we've got big goals, big expectations, and everyone's really on the same page marching forward. So we're excited about what's in front of us. We got a lot of work to do, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of talent, and we just got to put all the pieces together.
All right, and that will conclude Coach Pingeton. Thank you very much, Coach.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks. Hope you're doing well.